Take it away, fellas. Hello and welcome to Films I Should Have Seen, the podcast in which we watch and discuss movies that are either considered popular or highly regarded that we may have missed in the past. My name is Russ, and with me as always my co-host Sean.
Evening.
And James.
Good day.
And this is our first ever special episode, guys.
I'm not saying about that. I'm scared.
Crowd, why don't you cheer?
Because I was in completely different mind frame.
You just complained. Anyway, this is our Halloween special episode. So we quite creatively watched Halloween.
Yeah.
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 Which I had not seen before.
I had not seen either.
But I had seen.
Either.
Yeah. Because you're quite a big fan of the 70s, 80s horror films, aren't you?
I'm a fan, yes.
You're a fan. Yeah. So you enjoy this movie.
Are you a super fan?
I'm not a super fan, no.
You're just a
But
fan?
I did, yeah.
Okay.
When it comes to those kind of classic horror movies, which is your favourite?
Probably Freddy.
So
Is
the initial...
Is that the first? I'm not very well versed in the whole horror film.
So the first
Wild.
Nightmare on Elm Street, I'm
Yeah.
assuming. Yeah. And then all of the ones after, because from what I understand,
Yeah, Freddy
single
vs.
one of them's
Jason's
the best.
awesome.
Yeah.
No, it's not James, not Patrick.
It's terrible.
Where does Jason fit into the whole horror movie?
Friday the 13th.
Okay.
So, I would consider, your main trio of this era is Halloween, Nightmare on Elm Street, and Friday the 13th.
And is that the first installment in each of those
That's
characters?
the first installment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just because you were saying Freddy, I was like, wait, what? I thought Freddy first appeared in the Nightmare. Never mind.
Yeah.
Just cleared it up.
Freddy is Nightmare on Elm Street, yeah.
Yeah, but don't say Freddy, because that confuses me. Say the film is from.
Yeah.
It's Freddy.
It's Nightmare on Elm Street.
Because from what I understand, all of them have, really kind of shit sequels. But I think Halloween was the one that kind of got the least. Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street were kind of hammered to death.
Okay.
But this episode is about Halloween.
Yes.
So you like this film? You
Yes.
really
Where does it stand for you in your?
Well, last time I watched it, I must have been, I don't know, maybe 12, 13.
It's been a while.
Bloody
since
hell.
you've last
And
watched
that
it.
was the time when I had them all on VHS and things.
Good old
Referencing that old relic again, aren't we?
Yeah, I did have some, yeah. Watching it back today, God, I forgot how bad it is.
Yeah, I'm just going to straight out say this. I did
It
not
is
like Halloween.
bad.
I was bored. I'd say pretty much 100% of this movie.
There was a moment where I nearly nodded off.
Oh yeah, I almost fell asleep.
The acting
maybe
is shocking.
Nothing
To say the
happens.
least, it's shocking.
And I want to put this out there, I don't like horror films. One, because I don't find them entertaining. And two, I'm a pussy when it comes to horror. This film is not scary. You may have been scared about it when it came out. Nowadays, nothing about this movie is terrifying.
So, when did Halloween come out in the whole era of the? Would you call them the golden age horror films? Really?
Well, this is
that what you mean?
1978.
So
Halloween
had
came out.
things
Directed by John Carpenter.
So things like Psycho being out and
Psycho
Psycho
came
is-
out.
yeah.
yeah.
years
So
ago.
okay, I was just curious. I was like, did this inspire horror films, or is this inspired by horror
I
films?
think Psycho sort of inspired most of them.
Yeah, Psycho. This is probably because John Carpenter was a big fan of
Fang.
fan of Alfred Hitchcock,
chapter.
and he did consider hiring Jamie Lee Curtis to be the ultimate tribute to Alfred Hitchcock, who had given her mother Janet Leigh legendary status in Psycho from 1960. So, yeah, this is very much inspired by Psycho.
Fair enough. It was on my mind as we were watching the film. I was like, where does this fit in to the whole timeline?
Yeah, Mike Myers. I just didn't find him scary.
He wasn't in the
at
film
all.
though.
Not that Mike Myers.
One of us is going to do it, so just get it out of the way with now.
The best joke in reference to that is in Baby Driver. No, I just didn't find him scary, and I thought this film was incredibly boring. There was a brief moment as well where it's like the film forgot that Jamie Lee Curtis as Laurie was the main character.
Yeah, true, yeah. I mean, I'm going to assume at this point that's maybe one of the first times you've had the killer of a horror film. Like, he wasn't quick
Throughout it.
He was throughout it as well, which surprised me.
Well, it starts with him, doesn't it?
True, yeah. But yeah, he wasn't a quick killer. He was slow, methodical, aggressive. You know, he literally choked him and then stabbed him. That was his forte. So I kind of liked that. I liked that they didn't have him chasing after everyone down the street. That's what we would get now.
But he's also like a 7-foot ninja.
Yeah, oh yeah. His espionage work is fantastic. I will happily be trained by him and how to sneak up on people.
So just in relation, so Halloween was 1978, Friday the 13th is 1980, and Nightmare on Elm Street is 1984.
So the
So
within
out of those three, Halloween did come first.
Yeah. So yeah, but like you said, there's not really much going on story-wise. We don't even know why he's gone back to the town to kill these 3 random teenage girls. Teenagers.
I think, that's definitely supposed to be teenagers.
Teens, yeah. Why he singled these 3 out when there was an entire high school there of them, what he could have picked from.
Yeah, it really, I don't know if I missed something, but it really just seemed to be, he went back to his childhood home, saw Laurie, and then started following her, saw her friends, and then just decided that they were... I
couldn't even really say any 3 of them somewhat resembled his sister. So that's what I was trying to cling out on in my head. Is one of them supposed to remind?
I remembered the opening scene of him creeping around the house, which I like that opening scene where he puts the mask on. You see everything through Michael's eyes.
That was a clever bit of
I
cinematography.
forgot how poor acting his sister was being killed. That was just...
No, can we mention the worst acting in this film, which I think is, I believe it's Nancy Keys, who plays Annie, the other babysitter. Jesus Christ, was she bad. I don't know if this was like a first role for her or something like that, but this didn't come across well. To be fair, I don't think any of the acting in this film is good.
No, they build the tense up quite well in some scenes, and like you said, I like how his presence is always there. Like you see him, and then you hear the breathing, which is a nice little note.
He has his own theme music.
He has his own little theme music.
Just suddenly starts and cuts off. But to give it was shot in
a really creepy ice cream van. Isn't it?
Yeah, it was shot in 20 days and made on a budget of $300,000, and it became the highest grossing independent movie ever made at the time. Which at the time, okay, I sort of get it, but
I assume
this is a film that only exists in popularity because it's a classic now.
Yeah.
This is not a good movie.
Was it, again, I assume when it first came out, was it marketed as this is the scary Halloween film? I assume, did it come out on Halloween? No. Around about that time.
You can only assume so.
You can only assume, yeah. So it just seems like that's very much like someone just thought,
but,
Halloween's a scary time. You know what we're gonna do, Sonny Jim? We're gonna make a Halloween film.
Well, interestingly, it wasn't going to be just set on Halloween. It was originally going to be set over a series of days, but to reduce the budget, they decided to just have it set on one day because it would reduce the costume changes.
True, very true.
And it was going to be called The Babysitter Killer.
The Babysitter Killer. Not as catchy as
No, I mean, it'd be a very accurate title, I suppose.
Yeah, it not to pick apart the film, but
no, that's what this podcast is about.
Why has he waited 15 years to come back? Clearly, at the end credits he said he was 23. So any time from 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, you'd say he's probably physically more than capable of the same.
So release date 27th of October 1978. So it came out a couple of days before.
So yeah, in the same.
I don't get it. I think Michael is clearly the most interesting character of the film. But even then, you don't really know anything about him.
No.
Like, I thought when I said I didn't enjoy 100% of this, okay, I was wrong. I did appreciate that opening scene where you see it through Michael's eyes, and then at the end, if it wasn't for the fact of I knew that it's obviously Mike kills when he's a kid, that scene would have been awesome. Like, you see all that, and then it flips to the third person. It's like a 6 years old, I think they say.
I think I knew that it was him as a boy, but I can't remember.
Yeah. Well, I knew kind of the basic premise of it is he killed his sister when he was younger, and he gets sectioned, and then he ends up coming back. I do believe because Rob Zombie did a remake of it a few years ago, and the thing I know that is like the big difference.
Sorry, that's my phone. Tell me I have an email. Don't
Why is it quacking?
It's just been like that for years.
Yeah, I know the big difference in the Rob Zombie version is they spend a significant portion of the film with Michael as a child, so you understand him a bit more.
What one would that have been called?
That was just called Halloween.
It was a
Maybe that's why I get so confused with them, because they just have the same name. And then the newest one's just called Halloween as well, isn't it?
Yeah, the newest one they're doing but the new one is a sequel to this one. It's sort of like, do you remember a few years ago they did The Thing?
Yeah.
And it wasn't a remake, it was a sequel to the original, but it was just called The Thing.
The Thing.
Like the original. In fact, I think it was a prequel, I don't think it was a sequel.
Okay, then. Let's just go. I know Jamie Lee Curtis is back in the new
Yeah.
Jamie Lee
she's
Curtis
back
is
in
back in it, yeah.
Which is...
And she's
So how
reprising
many
her role.
in the Halloween franchise? How many films has there been?
Like I said, I don't think there's been as many in that.
I was going to say,
I'll look
has she
into it.
been in all of them, or is this the first time she's come
I think
back?
she's
No,
only in
she's
the-
been in...
I thought she was only in the first one.
No, she's in a couple more. She's in one where she goes visit him in a nursing home.
Isn't that
Well,
this
not a
one?
nursing home, but
Mental
asylum.
Institute. How many has there been?
I'm just looking up now. See, I thought she was only in the first one because I could have swore I heard that like this new one is just going to be a sequel to the first one. They're ignoring the rest of them or something like that. Let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. There's been 11.
Was she in H2O?
Hmm?
Was she in that one?
Holy crap, yeah, one of them's called Halloween H2O.
What?
20 years later.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sure
Yeah,
she's in
you've
that
got
one as well.
Halloween 2, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers, Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers, Halloween, The Curse of Michael Myers, Halloween H2O 20 years later, Halloween Resurrection, Halloween, which was the Rob Zombie remake, Halloween 2, which was a sequel to that remake, and then you've got Halloween 2018, which is the sequel to this original.
But there's a sequel back in 1981. How can you... Mad brain.
I don't know. Yeah,
We've really strayed from the point, I feel, of the film. We just kind of went down a rabbit hole.
I feel like the concept of this is so cool.
Yes.
Like, I like the idea of, like, okay, this is it does fall into that category, like, say, Friday the 13th, Nightmare on Elm Street. But the thing this has going for it is, it's not a supernatural being. He is just a psychopath.
Well, you say that. He got shot in the chest.
the guy
at
seems
about
to, like,
That's
5.
little things that annoy me. Like, he's no supernatural being. He's just an evil child who turns into
an
evil man. But he can make doors open and
Yeah,
all those little things.
To say...
See, I got with the doors thing, I got the impression of it was as, like, because he'd left the door ajar as he'd come in, so then the winds carried it, and that's what's made them notice. I didn't think it was him, like,
but it's always
magically opening.
At that time,
it's
there's
just...
no breezy way, no breeze.
But this is one of the reasons I don't particularly enjoy horror films, is, especially when you study film, you learn very quickly that horror is the genre which tropes are so easy to do. You the whole... Oh, there was one bit I did think was cool in this, and that was after Laurie had found the bodies, and she's like go back into the hallway and she's crying, and there's the dark
just
hallway,
peeks
and
out.
they did the lighting just
Oh
right,
yeah,
so
that's you got to create the film for that. I think the lighting and the darker contrast to everything and how it was hidden was very well done.
Well, that's most of the posters these days. So is that scene.
I think Michael was, like a lot of horror movie villains, was way scarier when he was far away or you couldn't really see him.
Yeah.
As soon as you could fully see him, and he's just a giant dude in a William Shatner mask.
Yeah, that's my only one trivia I know is that's a slightly morphed William Shatner mask.
It's because of the budget, they needed the cheapest mask they could find, which was a $2 James Kirk Star Trek mask.
Which I think
they painted white, they teased out the hair and cut the eye holes bigger.
Yeah.
And apparently for years William Shatner didn't know.
Yeah, I enjoyed that little nugget of information too. can't remember where I learned it, but I learned it somewhere.
Yeah, I expected more from this film, and
Yeah.
I was incredibly let down.
Yeah,
I thought it was boring.
Yeah, I agree, yeah. And I assume that's why it probably gets like the modern remakes to make it seem more scary. I don't know if any of them have been like scene for scene remakes or just
I
in
liked
spirit of.
Well, Danny McBride's part of this new one, isn't he? Is he a producer or
he's one of the writers.
writers? Yeah. I was reading that he couldn't be in the same room because is it the same guy who's come back to reprise the role as Mike Myers?
I shall look that up.
No.
I'm sure he's come back to do it, and he couldn't be in the same room when he was in character. I was reading.
This is the thing, because I've seen what made me kind of want to do this one is because I'd seen the trailer for the new one.
Yeah.
And I do actually
It
think
does
it looks
look good.
it
It
does
does.
look really good. And I was saying to James, I don't think you were in the room earlier, it's got really good reviews. It's currently at an 8 out of 10 on IMDb. And even in that trailer, Michael is terrifying in that trailer. Like, he seems really threatening. But in this, he's just a lumbering ninja. Tony Moran, who played him in the original. No, it's not the...
Is it not?
No.
Well then.
Yeah.
Just well then. Am I right in thinking again? I'm straying off topic here, but the little girl Lindsay.
Which Lindsay, the little
The
girl.
little girl's getting. Right, I know what point you're going to run to, but is that the little girl from Die Hard? Because I thought it was. You know, John McClane's kids.
I've never seen Die Hard.
He's never seen Die Hard. Have you seen?
I've seen
Die Hard. I think it is
It's
her
one
because
Christmas film I haven't seen.
he admits it's a Christmas film though. He's correct. He's right about this.
Yeah, but while we're on the topic of Lindsay, can we acknowledge that I think it was a script error. I think the actor meant to say Annie.
Yes.
When
I
he
agree.
says, I rip your clothes off, talking to
Bill, was it? Bill
whatever.
or Bob?
He was
Bob. He was
Bob,
Bob,
sorry.
and it was what was her name? Linda. So Bob says to Linda, "I tear your clothes off, then you tear my clothes off, and then we tear Lindsay's clothes off." Lindsay is the little girl.
Lindsay is the little girl. Yes.
I'm pretty certain, and I don't know if this is just me hoping. I think he was meant to say Annie. Who's the other
because she
babysitter.
should be in that house.
Yeah.
shouldn't she? Yes.
That was a bit.
Well, she is in that house. She's just dead.
Yeah, that's true.
Well,
So have you never seen no Freddy's or Friday the 13th then either?
I don't think I've seen any of the Freddy's. I'm sure. Which is it? Jason Goes to Space.
Jason X.
I've
seen
seen a
Jason-
bit of that one.
I've seen Jason
I just
X.
remember a bit of him. Is he laid on like a table and he sits up?
Yeah.
That's all I remember.
I've seen Jason
Oh, I
X, which is the only Friday the 13th film I've seen, and I've seen Freddy vs. Jason, which is the only thing I've seen Freddy Krueger.
I've not seen Freddy vs. Jason.
It's
The remake for Freddy
a
was good
movie.
as well. I enjoyed the remake for
That
Freddy.
was
Yeah,
the
'cause it was,
same.
it was Jackie L. Haley, wasn't it, who played...
That was the same actor coming back, wasn't it?
No,
No,
Played-
not the remake
No,
recently.
because it was... It's,
Oh, I thought it was. I thought he would. But he'd done them for years. Though.
Oh, yeah.
He
Yeah,
was
he
Freddy
did them
for
all,
years. Yeah. Fair enough.
Robert Englund.
Robert Englund's the
Yeah.
one. He's done all the Freddy's up until that remake,
Okay,
which
fair enough
was...
Which I remember,
about 10 years ago now,
I
maybe?
remember caused a lot of controversy. I remember people being really angry. Even though it was a remake and completely different cast, people were angry it wasn't Robert Englund reprising the role. But I think Jackie L. Haley's a good actor. I haven't seen it, but I don't know.
If you want to know, he's reprising his role in Goldberg. Is it Goldbergs?
The Goldbergs.
Yeah.
It's a sitcom that's like kind of set in the 80s, and they do a lot of like pop culture tie-in stuff.
Okay.
So they're getting
He's
Robert
popping back in
Englund to reprise his role as Freddy Krueger.
Freddy the Krueger.
Freddy Krueger for their Halloween episode.
Okay, fair enough.
Another bit I did like. Okay, I'm trying to be positive
Yeah.
here. When he kills,
The first girl, the second.
no,
girl.
the lad. Is it Bob?
Bob.
Yeah, when he kills Bob and he lifts him up
Yeah.
and then pins into the cupboard. That I thought that was really cool. And then immediately just kind of like it just stayed on a long shot of him stood there.
Going like that.
Yeah, just
doing the
awkwardly
dog head
turning
tilt.
his head while this guy's just pinned to
Yeah.
a cupboard. And I was like, okay, this is you've gone from cool to awkward.
Awkward. Also, that's quite a strong knife and dog.
Yeah, why
to be
didn't
able
he go?
to-
Why didn't he go limp?
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah, you can poke holes in the plot and the character and everything like that for days on end, but again, we say it a lot because we are obviously watching films from yesteryear, that they are clearly of their time, and I'm sure it was scary and...
Like I say, at that age, I loved them, and I had all VHSs. And...
Was you scared of them? No. Okay, just curious.
The only film I've ever been scared of, which has now to this day had an effect on me, is Arachnophobia. I watched that as a child. I used to go out collecting spiders. I watched that as a child one night, and then I hate them ever since. Hannah is now my protector in the house. She gets rid of them. I can't stand the things.
There's a big one.
So that's the only film that's ever had an effect on me.
But this is the thing of, like, I said to you earlier today when I told my dad that this is the film we were doing, and he said, that film terrified me. And we worked out, he was 21 when he saw this
so we're
movie.
only a couple of years older than him.
Yeah.
When he's seen it.
I think going back now when you suggested what film we watch, you should have probably watched The Exorcist, because that was one that got a lot of controversy when it was released.
Your mother sucks cocks in hell.
Yeah.
Fun stuff.
I don't think I've seen The Exorcist either.
I haven't seen The Exorcist, but
I haven't seen The
that
Omen.
scene
That
is
was
so
one.
popular.
Yeah.
I haven't seen The Omen either. Is that that must be what the original was called, yeah. The Omen.
What do you mean the original? There is The Omen, and then they did a remake.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, okay.
They did a remake in, I think it was 2006, because they released it on the...
666.
Yeah, they released it on the 6th of June. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Interesting fact. John Carpenter... Why can't I get people's names right today? John Carpenter approached Peter Cushing, who we'll know as Grand Moff Tarkin, and Sir Christopher Lee. You know Christopher Lee is, right?
Trying to think what I've seen him in.
He was in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
He's Saruman.
Not Gandalf, the other one.
Oh, right.
The
Yeah.
other
He
one.
also was like Dracula and the Mummy.
Yeah, he
Yeah,
was
that's
Dracula.
what-
Yeah.
He approached both of them to play the role of Dr. Sam Loomis.
Did you ever watch the film The Stupids?
No,
he was in
right,
that.
just freaking forget
Sorry.
it. Yeah, he approached both of them to play the role of Dr. Sam Loomis, who I might add is a very terrible doctor in this film. And they both turned it down due to it being a low pay. And Lee later said it was the biggest mistake he'd ever made in his career.
Okay.
Which, to be fair, yeah, with the popularity and the cult status of Halloween,
Yeah,
but it's not like Christopher Lee didn't have enough.
I bet the
like,
royalty
not
checks have
choosing
been
this bad.
good for Halloween over the years.
I don't know if they'll have had royalties though. If it was a low budget, like independent film,
Whatever.
they'll have probably, a lot of the actors will have probably just gone on just cash in hand kind of things. Yeah.
It was alright. It's not the greatest film by modern standards in any way, shape or form, but that's the world we live in.
It's a cult film.
It's a cult
It
film.
is. And I get why it's popular amongst like horror fans. But as someone who's not a fan of horror and this is the first time watching it, I was just bored.
See, most fans is just they're mainly linked to the characters rather than the film these days, I think.
Yeah, like I still think the idea of Michael is a cool villain. He was just a child that committed a murder.
He's so
then
intelligent to say he's been locked in a room staring at a wall for 15 years.
But then this was one of my things. One of my questions was immediately, I was like, right, this guy's been institutionalized since he was 6. How does he know how to drive? They do address it in the movie. It's but someone must have taught him. How? When?
So light-footed.
Yeah.
Knows how to open door. I did love how earlier on in the film he punches his way through a door to get to.
And then there's the shot of his hand
Jamie Lee
just still in the door.
Yeah. No, my favourite bit was how he punches through and puts his hand up to look for the door handle. You go back and watch. He goes up like that, and then the actor must remember and go, "Oh yeah." It's
I always thought, right.
And then I like how later on when she's hiding in the wardrobe, it takes him a while to think, I can't open this. Damn, she must have tied it. I'll have to punch through
But
it
instead
now.
of putting the knife just through the door and trying to cut whatever's holding the handles together, no, he's like, I will punch through
I
the
need to
door.
punch my way through. And then, hey, credit to Jamie Lee Curtis, she can figure bloody eye out with a coat hook.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't do that.
I would say
Straight-
Jamie Lee Curtis is the strongest part of the film, but I don't think her acting in it is great.
No, it was
Is that
one
her
of their-
first
it
major
must be
role?
a first role or one of her early
Probably.
ones.
She thought it was going to end her career. This movie. She thought her acting on their first day. She thought her acting was that bad that she was for sure going to get fired.
No, she did fine.
John Carpenter rang her that night and
He
just told her
just said, look at the other lasses.
just
You're
told
doing
her
fine.
how impressed he was with her work. Well, yeah, who cares? It's not a lot going on.
Yeah, she has.
It was her first movie role. She had TV credits. Up until
Okay,
that point.
fair enough.
She was in Charlie's Angels. Only one.
That's a great reboot.
Is it?
It is.
I don't
If you
think-
go back and watch it, Sam Rockwell's in the first one. He dances. It's great. Real Sam Rockwell.
So,
There was almost another Halloween in that list as well.
what was it?
Yeah, there was talks of a crossover with Hellraiser.
So, have you
which
seen
one's
any of the other Halloweens?
Yeah.
Did they go supernatural?
Honestly, I can't
With
remember.
one being called Halloween Season of the Witch.
I don't think I've seen every one of them, but I've seen more of them.
What's Halloween H2O?
Okay, so go on.
That was
give
one of
us
the most-
memories
Is it a
of the one
crossover?
you've
Is it a
seen
crossover between Halloween and the popular TV series H2O, which is about girls that when they go in the water they turn into mermaids?
there? Only he would know
No.
that.
No.
Only Ross would know that.
But when was H2O? Was that about 90?
H2O 98. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well done.
That was a long time ago.
And what do
I-
you remember of the
Oh,
other
God, I
Halloween?
can't
You can't.
remember.
Okay.
No.
Just to give me context
The
of
thing
where
is,
it
if
went.
you watch them all, they all blend into one, same as Freddy's.
Just lots of standing in dark
Yeah.
corners and just seeing a mask.
I think the only ones that I could probably depict would be Child's Play, because there was only 3 of them, apart from the off ones like Seed of Chucky and Bride of Chucky.
Not seen them either.
There's almost a crossover of that as well.
I've seen all the Child's Plays. I think it's quite surprising.
I haven't
Child's Play 3 was banned in the UK,
That's because it was to do with
even though there was no connection.
No.
Well, we'll go into it even though. There was what are they called?
The murder where they took the child onto the railway tracks.
They'd covered him in paint and did other very kind of brutal things to this young lad. I think it was 2 9-year-olds, wasn't it, and a 6-year-old.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
When was this?
friggin' years ago. But Halloween 3, Child's Play 3 was banned because the way they killed this kid was similar to the way someone died in the movie. But the only connection they could find between these kids and the film was one of their parents' friends had recently rented it.
Right, okay.
And then for quite a few years it was banned in the UK.
Okay. Okay.
The more you know.
There you go.
Okay. Okay.
I don't think Halloween's ever been banned anymore.
Anyway.
So now you can say you've seen it.
Now I can say I've seen Halloween and
So now you need to go home and watch Friday the 13th and Nightmare on Elm Street and Child's Play.
See, you should be thankful that we didn't go with my original idea for this Halloween special. We were going to start with Friday the 13th and then every year watch a different Friday the 13th because they get progressively worse.
But there's about 25 of those.
Oh yeah, there's freaking loads of... We could keep this podcast going a long time.
I like a good franchise, a good series, a nice long running story, but 25 films is just.
I mean, I suppose we could do it with Halloween. We've got quite a few to get through.
But what would we do? Would we watch the original Halloween 2
We'd
that
go
came out in
we'd go
81,
through-
or would we
we'd
jump
go
to the
through-
2018 one
we'd
because that's
go
a sequel to
through-
what
we'd
we
go
just
through
watched?
release order.
Oh man, that's no, thank you. I'll just rather watch The Office again. Just
They're not the
constant.
same thing.
But yeah, not that many by the looks of it. Yeah, I've said it before.
There's actually only 12 Friday the 13th films.
And the last one was 2009.
I think I've seen that. I think I've seen the remake of it. I don't remember it being good.
Yeah, Jamie Lee Curtis was in Halloween too.
Was she? I don't know where I've got it from. That this was the first time she was returned.
She was in the second one, then she returned in Resurrection.
Right.
Which two? The 81 2 or the sequel to the Rob Zombie?
2009 two.
Yeah. The original 2.
Why is it with horror films they seem to do this? Every popular horror film, they just kind of run it into the ground. I'd say your modern ones is you've got your Saw and your Paranormal Activity and stuff like that, but they always seem to do it.
All I could assume is because someone thinks of the new top scary thing to do, and then they feel like they can shove that into a franchise and be like, hey, look. Michael Myers can now build contraptions, and
I just think
come on, look like
horror is very easy to replicate, but it's good when you do something new, like Saw and Paranormal Activity. Paranormal Activity kind of just built upon
tension, the jump scares.
Well, no, it's like that kind of found footage.
That's the thing with Halloween.
But
there isn't much jump scares, is it?
Yeah.
All there was did the bit of the guttering fall off and smash the window, and then when
was that what it was? I couldn't tell what it was.
I think it was supposed to be a bit of guttering. Yeah, it kind of looked like a street, like a traffic light.
I thought it looked like a doorknob.
No, it's definitely not a doorknob.
No, do you know you get the metal rectangular bit that goes on the door, and then it was very dark. I couldn't see it.
Yeah, but there we go. Halloween.
This movie was not scary.
No.
I was surprised at how much we saw of Mike during the day.
Yeah, I know. One pointed out that was...
nobody cared.
Nobody cared. Not a lot of people living there. And, hey, the neighbours that just completely ignored this woman's screams.
It's Halloween. They just think they're prattling around.
But still, there's a difference between hysterical screams and...
Yeah, but even the neighbours thought their acting's terrible. Just closed the blinds and went back to the movie.
They're out there again, John, they're out there again. That was me being the old lady in the house.
Oh, was it?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to say on the matter.
Why did she keep... every time she sort of defeated him, she kept throwing the knife back at him.
Why? Yeah.
Why did you just keep...
The first time, fine, she thought he was dead. Why risk it the second time?
But she... All she did was stand with a bloody knitting needle.
In the neck?
Yeah, still. Better than going that far.
And a cut hanger to the eye.
No, I can't to the eye. No, I'll just keep throwing knives at him. No. I'll pump 5... No, I think pump 5 bullets into him and...
Then he falls backwards out of a window.
I like how, even at that point, I assume they didn't think there was going to be making a second, but they left it open enough that they could.
Well, they do. It used to be such a much bigger thing back in the day, leaving films ambiguous, but not really intending to do anything with it. And then with how successful it was like, well, we'll do a sequel. Whereas nowadays, immediately you go, oh, there's a sequel.
Oh, there's a sequel. They've announced it.
Which is in one of the Friday the 13th. I'm sure it's in the Friday the 13th where they give you the hint of Freddy versus Jason, because at the end Jason's mask's in a sandpit and Freddy's glove comes through and grabs the mask and takes it under.
Oh my god, did they beat the MCU to...
They did the crossover.
Teasing crossovers.
Yeah. So is the Friday the 13th franchise, Jason franchise, is that set at a cabin on a lake?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Camp Crystal Lake?
Camp Crystal Lake.
Because in my head, I think I've always got
them two
just confused a little bit. I always thought it was Michael Myers was the cabin and Jason was just a killer in a street. But...
Well, technically Jason isn't the killer in the first Friday.
Don't say things like that. You're going to confuse my little brain.
Anywho... It's getting on a bit, and I don't think we actually spoke that much about Halloween.
I bet if you were to timestamp this, I bet we spoke about Halloween for like 3 minutes.
Well, more than that, at least 4. But no, I think that concludes our first ever Halloween special, in which we watched Halloween. Are you doing a teaser for next year?
Next year.
All right then.
Just a crossover.
With Wallace and Gromit. Can I just point out the tune that the girl...
Oh yeah, I have just realised that you did the Wallace and Gromit tune at the beginning. Yeah. Never explained why.
I've forgotten all the names, but the girl who... Annie spills all the butter, she says, on her clothes. When she's going back and forth to get into her car, she's humming a little tune, and it sounds like the beginning of the Wallace and Gromit theme. Please go back and watch this film, and just even for that bit, and then tell me I'm wrong.
This film would be infinitely more entertaining if you just put the Wallace and Gromit tune on loop over it.
Jeez, Gromit.
Or just replace the Halloween music.
Someone please do that.
Anywho, I think that concludes it for us. So it's bye from me.
And a bye from me.
Bye-bye.
Speak to you next time.